of 2-kilometre loop, and you think the fact that the two climbs are closer together actually pushing the women's pulses higher before they come in.
Yeah, but the men at least had the big descent before the final climb, so it's, I think, a slightly tougher journey. But I do think that the reduction, remember the women's relays used to be 7.5, they're 6 for a number of years, and I think that's why it's never been so close. As you said, 5 relays last year, 5 different teams. It's given everybody an opportunity.
Well, if you want your sport to be a spectacle, that is the sort of step you've got to take, and I think it was a really good move. I think I would even have supported a slightly shorter relay. The problem there is that the slower teams get lapped that much more easily, and you don't want a percentage of the teams coming out. 23 entries today, USA wearing bib number 23, not because they're the 23rd best team in the world, but because they didn't race in the first relay in Pokljuka, where Germany won reasonably convincingly. Germany, France, the two favourites, 1 and 2 on that occasion.
And since women came into the Olympic programme in 1992, we offer, it was always Russia, Germany and France, really as a regular on the podium in this race. And as you said earlier, it's so exciting that we can start this race. Germany, in my mind, is favourites, but you've still got 5, 6 teams there. Even Sweden today for a podium for me is not impossible. They're ranked 8th.
Why do you put Germany as favourites when you've got Chevalier, Brezard, Beschko? Are you saying it because Durand isn't racing for France?
That's a small factor. The young ones are good. I think you're right, but Imonia going last, her shooting stats are not great. And putting someone off form on the last leg, it multiplies for me the risk factor. If someone's not in good form, putting them last multiplies the pressure on them.
Yeah.
But hey, they know what they're doing.
Well,
we'll have to wait and see.
France put their weak leg first last time. That didn't exactly work. That was in yesterday's men's race.
Tuck them in the middle, throw the weaker leg. Someone who's off form in second leg.
Second leg. That's where there's still plenty of pressure, but there's less. There you had a quick look of the Norwegian team. Norway, of course, winning the World Championships. The Czech Republic, Pokljuka goes first. Davidova is in. She's the only change from the last successful team for the Czechs. "23 teams ready to go here in Ruhpolding. The second relay of the season. Certainly honours to be won, World Cup points, but in terms of the World Championships, this is a very important relay. This is where teams are going to gain their confidence.
4 international referees, and you can see that the referee in the background, he's just checking all the bolts to make sure there's no bullets in the rifle.
Vanessa Hintz, well, she is certainly psyched up. Big moment for her. Difficult to race in front of the home crowd. Germany, despite not winning last year, the World Cup relay champions. Here we go. The countdown has started. 4 by 6 kilometres. Yesterday had us on the edge of our seats right to the last second. Are we about to see the same? Sounds like my bedroom clock.
On the edge, the nerves are tingling away in your stomach to break free.
They're away. A little dash as they vie for position over the first stages. Good little burst coming from the Swiss on the far side, trying to move up a few orders. Aita Gasparin taking the first lead. Selena Gasparin racing as well. But I think things will sort themselves out fairly early. Can you see anyone outside the top 6 winning? Sweden, they might do something, Mike. They've got bib number 8. Belarus 9 have got Scardino taking the first leg. The 2 Gasparin sisters, or 2 of the 3 of them, taking legs 1 and 2.
Well, I also thought, looking even further back, I thought Italy's a strong team with Vitozzi, Sanfilippo, Rungaldier and Voltier. Yes, they don't have their key player, with Dorothy not racing, Dorothy Vera, but it's a good team. Certainly good enough for a podium today.
The Finns have put their best first. Kaisa Makarainen is racing. She's a long way back at the start. On the left-hand side of your screen, wearing 13, the Finns in that white and light blue suit, predominantly white. She's got a white headband on, so you'll be able to pick her out as we go through. Crucial in the opening stages not to do any damage to the equipment. I think we've got away with a clean start. And then they double back on themselves, round the back of the stands. There's a big screen, so all the fans can see exactly what's going on. Olsbu for Norway, taking the first leg. Norwegians, Mike, their record last year, I think they went 8-5-5. They didn't race in the penultimate relay, and then they went and won the World Championships. Perhaps the biggest surprise of the whole of last season.
It was, and that was one of the most memorable relays I think ever, certainly at World Championships when the Norwegians did that. Totally unexpected. Maybe we expected they could nibble a medal but not get the gold.
Tyrrell Eckhoff was really the superstar on that occasion, having won the sprint event.
But I think today, the shooting isn't the best Norwegian quartet, but give them 3 spare rounds. Their ski speed is that good that they're also one of the potential for a podium, but they need to shoot quite well.
Vanessa Hintz setting the pace, but it's Mäkirainen on the far side is skiing faster than everyone else. She's working really hard, Mäkirainen. Has she learnt nothing from Overholt?
It's strange, isn't it? But if you feel Vanessa Hintz, with respect, is not the fastest, Mäkirainen will be feeling this is at 85%, so she's restless, and has she learned from Overholt? Maybe not. But she's going to really hurt the rest of the pack now.
I was just thinking, I think it was the mass start. It was the mass start. Mäkirainen took the pace at the front and missed four on the first pro.
I thought it was as bad as 3, but 3 is shocking. Has she learned from that? But I love her instinct. If she's racing, if she's moving at only 85%, she's feeling guilty and thinking, right, I need to open this up. Nobody's gone with her. It's that fast. Nobody could stay with it.
Gasparin made a burst early on, dropped back to 18th position, and those at the back of the group, Mike, really the sensible thing is to be patient. What was the brief for the British team when we had a British team?
That's right. Sadly, tragically, the British team has just dropped lower and lower through non-attendance, through lack of development, I suppose, over the years. The strategy is just remain patient. There's not much you can do at the back there. Huge energy to get past the crowd in front of you. So it is the best strategy to remain patient. Look at Mäkirainen, that's what, a 25-meter lead now.
Well, maybe she said, okay, I made a mistake in Overholt, but the approach to the range here in Ruhpolding is that much easier. Second place at the moment, Anaïs Chevalier of France. Germany shouldn't be too far off the pace, just looking for Vanessa Hintz, hidden behind some of the spectators. Tall figure, Vanessa Hintz, I think she'll be comfortable at the moment.
That's interesting, and Chevalier, the only athlete able to react. Vanessa Hintz is the tallest in the field, the mass start field, and she takes up a lot of track. She's road blocking.
So, Mäkirainen, 40, 50, 60 metres clear of everyone else. If she gets a clear shoot, this is going to be a real display of her form. I think really, Mike, she's just wanting to get herself in shape for the 2 individual races here.
Yes, she is. She's raced 50 times on these tracks, and it's not her most successful venue.
Well, you would have thought it was one where she excelled, because the skiing's quite hard and the shooting is easy. Now I know she comes from Joensuu, shoots up at Kontiolahti where the windy conditions often affect, but we haven't seen in windy conditions Mäkirainen doing any better than anyone else.
Often, I think we see her doing less well than the rest of the top shots on the day. I don't know what the factor is here, because Mäkirainen so often in the past, as always in the individual races and the relay as we're seeing, sets the fastest time, certainly in the top 4 fastest ski time on these tracks. She just doesn't hit as many targets as the best.
Well, here she comes.
Hopefully she can today. That's a huge lead. Reminds me of Ole Einar Bjørndalen when he used to lead out in his younger days.
So just a reminder, the last time she led into the range, which was the mass start in Overholt, she only hit 1 of 5 targets. On this occasion, of course, she has 3 spare rounds. She really just wants 5 with 5.
I would love her to do that and get the confidence for the individual races at the weekend.
Good start. The USA with Susan Dunkley. Dunkley's down on lane 23. That's why she managed to get the shots, the first target down fairly early on. She's got another 50 metres to ski to get level with Mäkirainen. Mäkirainen misses 5. Dunkley goes... Well, I don't know what's happened on the last shot. She's allowed the Austrians to sneak a lead. China, Canada, Germany. You can tell from the cheer, they're clear.
Mäkirainen, sorry, got it with 1 spare shot. That's good news for the Finns.
Vitozzi of Italy. We've got Lithuania with 1 miss. Japan have gone clear. Good shooting from them. the Japanese with Fuyuko Takizaki, so they've put their best first, and that's what the weaker teams tend to do. 2 spares for Russia, 4 for Poland, and they've got at least 1 penalty loop to do, could be more. That's a disastrous start for Mitarai, a newcomer.
Would you have put an athlete, 21-year-old, she's done 1 previous World Cup race, it's such a nerve-wracking situation, mass starting for your country, and she suffered there today.
The Czechs with Puskarchikova, she didn't look very stable, but it was a beautiful rhythm she was shooting with. Vanessa Hinz-Mike hitting 5 with 5. That's all the crowd can ask for. Not bad grouping either from Hinz. As we have a look at the order board, top 10 teams: Czech Republic, Austria, Germany are there. Absentees, France should be up in the top 10. They've made mistakes, almost as bad a start as they had last year, and we were questioning their selection, their order. Welcome back to Ruhpolding. It's taken 1 commercial break exactly for Kaisa Mäkäräinen to get back in front, having been 9.3 seconds off the lead. She's turned that into a 9.3 metre lead over Germany. Vanessa Hinz still sensibly, I think it's sensible of Hinz not to try and chase Mäkäräinen. Susan Dunkley-Mike sitting in the slipstream of Vanessa Hinz. There's no one out there who creates more of a drag than Hinz. So Dunkley skiing wisely at the moment.
Yes, very much so. What about Mäkäräinen? She came into the range 9 seconds ahead of anybody. She went out 9 seconds behind the fastest. And as you said, that's an incredibly fast turnaround from 10 seconds behind to leading once again. She'll probably come into the range 9 seconds ahead again.
Well, there she goes, up the climb. It's a short, sharp loop. The difference between first and last, 1 minute 56. I think it's odds on that Poland are going to be lapped before the end of this relay. 3 penalty loops for Mitarai. That is a desperate, desperate start to her World Cup career.
And think what that does to her mindset, her confidence set so publicly. It's a relay, you're racing with your teammates, and she's only hit 2 targets out of 8 shots fired. It's a meltdown, and I think that's largely down to the pressure of leading out for Poland. Then experienced Gwizdon, Hojnish, and Guzik, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. They will come back, I think, but they can't win after that messy start.
14 teams shooting clear on the first shoot, not quite up to the men's stand, I think. We had 17 clear on the first shoot yesterday.
For the men.
It makes a change. It makes a change. The women's shooting every bit as good. How much do you put that down to anatomy? The fact that women tend to be able to get a little bit more support with the elbow on the hip than the men.
Yes, it'll be interesting. I think the anatomy plays a part, and generally the women not as tall as the men, a slightly lower centre of gravity. That also helps stand shooting. The wind playing no real factoring today at all. And there's Dunkley. I think she's doing really well. No spare rounds. Leading the chasing pack.
Well, it's a familiar sight, but Mäkäräinen will be hoping this time that she comes in first and she goes out first.
Interestingly, the Finnish team leading at the moment, their anchor leg, Pia-Maria Talvitie, very limited World Cup experience. In fact, only 1 run out, and that was in Oberhof. She shot the perfect score. She was 79, so her ski speed is, what, 3 minutes 15 off the fastest over 7.5 kilometers. Only 6 today, though.
Toivonen, Markkanen, leg 2 and 3 for Finland. This will make them a little bit nervous. They don't want Mäkäräinen to come in with a minute's lead because they know what's going to happen in the latter stages.
I just see a penguin there, I think it did. The cameraman set up that with some bullets at its base. Come on, Mäkäräinen.
Only 71% hit rate for Mäkäräinen in the stand this year. Still doesn't look that comfortable hitching up that left hip. Compare that to Susan Dunkley, who looks rock solid for USA, but throws number 3 wide. Germany, 4 out of 4. Hintz getting a cheer for every target that goes down. She thought she had it, but that is not the case. That could prove expensive. France, Austria get 5 out of 5. Mäkäräinen is going to hold on to the lead. Susan Dunkley, having hit the first couple, really struggling in the latter stages. Mike, how does that happen? Vanessa hits, it's not as if it takes much time for the bullet to get from the barrel to the target.
It's a weird thing, the brain is functioning in a storm, really, and you're trying to keep calm. She thought, her brain said that was a good sight picture, but she flinched it, the brain said it was a hit, and then she thought, oh my word, how did that miss?
Now, just in case we get to see the close-up, I'm not sure we will on that target, but just in case we do get to see it, where do you think the round went? High right?
I would think a high left. Generally, if you're flinching, and she would have thought it, I hope we see that round, I would have thought high left.
And a snatch at the trigger, sends it high right, low right?
Yeah, high right and or low right. But a flinch where the brain does crazy things, normally top left.
And what tends to throw it low left? 4 on the pulse. Watch going into shot 3 and 4. It comes down about 5 beats for every shot they take. That is how fit they are. 12:16 the time as Mäkäräinen leaves the stadium. She's got another 2,000 meters to go, and then she will hand over to Laura Toivonen. Coming towards the end of the first leg, 6 kilometers, remember, each leg for the 4 competitors in each team. 4.9 completed. Mäkäräinen back to 11 seconds ahead. Chevalier doing well on the range last time. Lisa Theresa Hauser, who's been a revelation this year. What success she's had. And that will really encourage the inhabitants of Hotfilson, Mike. The thought that, okay, the Austrian men have been strong for a decade now, but the thought that Hauser, if everything goes right, could well claim a medal for the host nation at the Worlds.
I think so. She's consistently shooting well. Her ski speed this season is so much faster. Everything's going the right way for Lisa Theresa. And of course, in second leg today for Austria, Katharina Innerhofer. Remember, she won a World Cup, big surprise, back in 13-14. She won the sprint in Pokljuka. So it's a team that is growing in stature all the time. Hartwegger taking the third leg. She was 22nd in Östersund, so they really are beginning to nibble up into the higher ranks of biathlon. 12, Dozy still racing very well. Well within that chasing pack, led by the Chevalier, the French team. Chevalier just coming over the top for the last time. What a great feeling that is, dropping down this hill to go on to finish. I think Sweden are doing a magnificent job so far, moving up into fourth. So the second athlete's playing a strong part in this. Mäkäräinen, I'm not sure Toivonen next leg will manage to hold this lead. I hope she can though. But this has been outstanding for Mäkäräinen. She didn't need any spare rounds in the stand position, just one in the thrown position. She lost a lot of time with that. And I think she's showing everybody that she's a real threat for the races to come on Saturday and Sunday in the women's field. That's it, Toivonen looking anxious. The world is watching her at the front, or they will be very soon.
Well, she's looking, if you didn't know better, you would have thought she looked exactly like Kaisa Mäkäräinen, the same sort of style in the V2, hands slightly closer together at the front than many of the athletes.
Sweden coming up, in fact. There were sixth, then there were third, now they're second. Wolfgang Pichler, I would love to have been at his team briefing last night because he is inspiring these Swedish girls to take a medal in the relays especially.
So here we go, leg number 2, Finland, Sweden, France, the first 3 away. The Czech Republic, potential winners certainly, just ahead of the hot favourites Germany in 5, Italy 6. Good start for the Italians. Sanfilippo, Ringaldier, Gontier to go. They've had Vitosi. You will have noticed no Dorothy Vera. I think she needs some rest. Her form started to drop away a little bit. 6:8:17, her results in Oberhof last week. So I think that mass start was really the final straw. Decided to rest today. Slovakia in the top 12, only 45 seconds separating the top 12 teams. That's a good start. And we always say if you're a minute from the lead at the halfway stage, you can still win.
I think so. Mistakes made are precious. We saw Mäkäräinen turning around, what, an 18-second 9 lead, 9 back after the first shoot. A lot could change the shooting.
Well, having had 14 clear after the first shoot, you can see very few coming away unscathed. Austria, Norway, Ukraine with clean sheets, and Bulgaria as well. Welcome back to Ruhpolding. Toivonen of Finland still has a slim lead after the work done by Kaisa Mäkäräinen. Julie Brézard won't take long to eat that down. By the first shoot, possibly. Hammerschmidt in third for Germany. She's gone ahead of Davidova of the Czech Republic. Now, this is the weak leg for the Czechs. Davidova, she's not a bad biathlete, Mike, but I'm just concerned she's not going to be able to hold the pace of the fastest. And if she does, she's going to reduce her chances of hitting targets.
It's a 20-year-old. It's a big moment in her racing career. First World Cup relay, and again, all these things are huge factors.
Sweden now relying on Sloth. I'm reliably informed it rhymes with loaf as opposed to.
Let's stick with it.
So it's. Yeah, and what a season she's having. Isn't it extraordinary, Mike? She joins a new team, and suddenly her performances have gone up, what, 20%?
Oh, what a difference to have a team, network, and I think especially Wolfgang Pichler as your coach. He's dynamic, he brings a team together, and so often it's very good training. Remember, he went to Russia, that didn't work. They didn't like his training methods at all, but the Swedes love his training methods. France, and Breza is really closing, and not just closing the time, she's got ahead, she's pulled that 18 seconds back, and now she's fearless to go to the front.
Well, great to see so many here, and as the weekend goes on, we're going to get more and more. I know there's a guy called Mark Strange who sends us the occasional email. I know he's headed down for the weekend, wants to know what he should do. Well, if you're skiing, I would suggest a quick trip to Ruhpolding on the cross-country tracks. It's testing. It's quite a long way, but it's a fantastic course all the way through the hills.
I think I said 20 k's yesterday. It's about 22.5 each way, so it's not too bad.
And we'll get the bus there and ski back, something like that. If you're not skiing, well, I reckon you just stay in the town, soak up the atmosphere, because just about everyone from the crowd heads down to the town centre. Plenty of entertainment on hand and cheap glühwein. A good time to be had. So here we go, first shoot, second leg, and France, as expected, have taken the lead. Breza has been a real boost for the French team this year. And how good is it, Mike, that Doranabert is no longer, she's the golden girl in the French team, but she can be out-skied by Breza. Bescon can take time out of her as well.
Oh, she's happy. Doranabert is happily frightened of the quality that's coming through in the French girls team.
Yeah, so more competition within the team.
Yeah, she knows she has to work for a place now, Doranabert.
Always nice when the first shot goes down, and Maren Hammerschmidt for Germany throwing the first one wide, but now rattling through the targets. 4 out of 5. That will do okay. Probably 8 to 11 seconds thrown away, depending on how quick she reloads. Very good. Still gets the 5 targets down before Breza of France. Austria and Italy have cleared as well.
What about Hilde Fehn? I did say when you get 3 spare rounds, it takes the pressure off. But Hilde Fehn hasn't been shooting well. Today she's shooting great.
So the world champions have a chance. I certainly wouldn't have put my money on them this morning. And I don't know if you saw what the odds were on Norway.
I didn't see what they were, but without a doubt, when you got the 3 spare rounds, Nikolaisen did a good job. Hilde Fehn skiing fast. So is Marta Ulsbu on the anchor leg. They're skiing so fast.
Yeah, I think I mis-ID'd Nikolaisen for Ulsbu. I think Ulsbu actually is taking the last leg for Norway.
The Russian team were the biggest surprise for me after the first leg, a minute behind, and it's not looking like it's getting any better.
Russia, silver medalist from the Olympic Games in Sochi. It's actually a completely different team. Slivko, Akimova, who's good, she's on course now. Kaisheva and Podjefarova takes the last leg for them. Bulgaria featured early on, but another 2 misses, and they're dropping further and further behind the race leaders. It's Norway, France, Germany, Italy. Really, the only big team missing from the top 5 are the Russians. Let's have a look and see where the shots went.
That second shot was a little lucky. They were all low left, really. There, you can see where it missed. That's a huge miss.
Well, that was a very, very quick reload, Mike. Still, the shot was low. I don't think we'll see any change in the sights as we see a withdrawal. This is Poland, and it's Magdalena Gwizdon, who has she taken a must have taken a fall on the downhill.
It's not Gwizdon, I think that's...
Well, is that... Oh, no, it's not Gwizdon. It's still on the first leg. She's about 15 years younger than... That's Miterai.
As she finished, she was down and out for a long time. I think that's what it was.
Das schaut doch super aus. Überleg dir doch mal, hinten raus, kommt doch bei Deutschland. Unsere Franziska Preuß und die Laura Dahlmeier.
This relay is brewing nicely. France with the lead going through the 2.9 kilometre stage. Team 13, that is Finland and Lara Toivonen, losing a massive places. Here are the big guns up front, and Brazar once again setting the pace. Going with her is Hammerschmidt of Germany. Just behind her, Norway with Hilda Fenn, who's got her work cut out. But I think Fenn will know, Mike, that if she can stay with the pace of the leaders and get through the next shoot unscathed. Incidentally, Norway, the only team to have shot all the targets the first time of asking. They've got Eckhoff and Olsbu on 3 and 4. That's not a bad combination.
It's a great combination, and given the fact that they have 3 spare rounds, it's good news for the Norwegian team. But Hammerschmidt skiing fast, Preutz going next for the German team after Hammerschmidt. Still very good teams around Norway at the moment. Jean-Paul.
Now the Polish team had Guisdon on course, so we saw Kinga meet her out. She was just clearing the course. She's actually okay. I think just exhausted from her efforts early on. What sort of reception is she going to get from the team coach?
Well, I don't think it's going to be positive. I recently had a Polish doctor. We had a Polish doctor around for dinner and her husband. And I was surprised to hear that she said in all Polish society, as a child and female at school, she was never told she was good at anything. She said, at school, you were never good at anything. And throughout society, as a kid, you're not, everyone's telling you you're not good. And I think that's how I've seen the Polish team in sport over the years as well. It's very clinical. There's no praise at all. And I think, sadly, she might get a hard time for her performance in her first ever World Cup start. I hope not. Well, that'll break the spirit.
That may well be the case. But I can tell you, having been around a few primary schools recently, things have changed since we were at school. So hopefully that will be the same in Poland. But let's keep our eyes on this race here as it develops. The leading 3 teams side by side. France, Germany, Norway. It's going to be tough for Germany because every shot that Hammerschmidt hits, each World Cup meeting we go to, the cameraman thinks of something different to put in the foreground.
I think you're right. Hammerschmidt will shoot fast. She'll try and blank out the spectators.
Well, Brazar's already raced in 3 seconds, but if she hits the first target, she'll be up on Germany. No, she hasn't. Norway it is. Still, they clear all. That's 18 out of 18 shots so far today. 19 out of 19. Hilda Fenn is on fire. And the Norwegians know they may not be the quickest, but if they hit the targets, they can compete with everyone.
Brazar, she laid everything, Patrick. She came in so fast, and now look at the time she's wasting, feeding those spare rounds, and she looks so frightened.
Yeah, there's a chance of penalty loops for France. 1 round, 1 target. This is pressure. From leading, she's going to be at least 4th, maybe worse. It's down. A sigh of relief from the French fans here in Ruhpolding.
I think that shows her quality to manage that last round so well. She didn't think about it. She steadied the rifle. Great job.
Innerhofer for Austria. Shaky start to her shoot, so the pressure is on her as well. 3 rounds, 2 targets. 2 rounds, 1 target. 50%. In training, she would achieve that every single time. The race situation does strange things to a biathlete's mind. It's not just the brain, it's of course the breathing rates, the pulse rates that are that much higher. And of course, Mike, actually training with a crowd is nigh on impossible.
You can't simulate it that often. The only way is just to put it on a disc, record this, and put it. I've seen it happening. I would certainly put for some sessions go through that kind of discipline background knowledge.
Bad news for the Czech Republic. They have missed the target with Marketa Davidova. They do, however, have Vitkova and Kukalova on the last 2 legs. So they can, if they can hold within a minute, but I don't think they will do, they haven't.
A team we haven't really highlighted, Patrick, of course, is Team 16. They're not highly ranked, but Kuzmina out on the track now and really bringing them back into the game. 6th position at the moment. And it's a good team. Pokljuka next, and then Yalkova as the anchor leg. Not a shabby team.
Those were the shots of Hammerschmidt. We also saw Hilde Fenn, the 23-year-old Norwegian who's leading the way at the moment. It will be an interesting contest between Fenn and Hammerschmidt. They came out 5.2 seconds apart. I suspect Germany might be the first to the halfway stage. Well, what an interesting situation we have here. All sorts of drama. You may be surprised to see Italy alongside the two leading teams, but we can tell you that Norway and Germany have had a collision. We're hoping to see a replay so we can apportion blame. I suspect that Hammerschmidt was the one who wasn't playing ball, and it has absolutely taken the wind out of the Norwegian sails. Hilde Fenn really struggling now.
Well, I can tell you, Hilde Fenn gave her a good shout, verbal annoyance, because I think Hammerschmidt did cut her off on the inside of the curve before you head back up the hill. And look what it's done to Fenn. Fenn was leading.
Yeah, 50, 60 metres given away. I'm sure we'll see a replay of that, and we'll do some forensics on it just to see whether there's a likelihood. I'm sure Norway are a team, to be honest, they're a team that put in complaints when they think it's worthwhile.
Yeah, I wonder, it's not quite at the stage like cross-country where you have jury and video recordings on each corner to see, especially classic races, so that no one infringes the rules of skating.
Yeah,
but I think there will be someone out there watching or analysing later.
Well, it's played massively into the hands of the Germans, Mike, because I can't see Italy being competitive over the next two legs. Rungalde and Gontier. If they had perhaps Gontier and Vera, then you could consider the Italians for a win. And don't forget, they did win last year. They won the first relay of the season last year. So Hammerschmidt heading home in first. Italy now second. The Ukrainian team with Yulia Zhima have come up into third. Norway have dropped from first down into fourth, but they're still within what? It's going to be a margin of 10, 11 seconds, something like that. Away go Germany. Preutz on course for them now, but they do have the trump card, the best trump card. Lara Dalmar waiting to go on leg number 4. Italy second, 1.3. Norway 9.3 ahead, having come out of the range 5 seconds ahead of everyone. France in fifth, Mike. They're still a very, very dangerous team with Béchamp and Monnier. Again, Béchamp and Duran-Abert, and you'd think that France had a better chance than anyone.
Well, yes, and what a amount of time that Breza has pulled back since the last shooting. She was 27 behind. She's brought that back to 9 behind.
There's Daria Domracheva. Looking forward to seeing how she gets on this weekend. Just needs to improve. The shooting was a little, I was going to say ropey, let's call it rusty in Oberhof.
Rusty, I think she's going to get better and better, and I think that by the World Championships, here's a prediction, mid-February, she will be a contender for medals.
Now, we noticed last weekend as Domracheva leaves the stadium, let's just focus on those coming in. Canada there with Rosanna Crawford. They're wearing the sort of magenta-coloured suit and, of course, the maple leaf on it. Hilde Fenn, has she had words with Maren Hammerschmidt? I suspect so.
I expect so. I didn't see it, but I would imagine Hammerschmidt would have apologised. wasn't intentional, but was it sensible to overtake on the inside line on a very tight
Hey,
bend?
if there's a gap, go for it. Yeah, they're friends.
Oh well, that's good.
But that certainly cost Norway, must have cost them 10 to 15 seconds. As we have a look at the order, they could easily have come in first position. Germany, Italy, Ukraine in the podium positions at the moment. Russia slowly coming back into it. The Austrians dropping down the order on that second leg. Innerhofer will be really disappointed, but they are a team that put their best first, and so what can you expect but negative news as the race goes on. Tyrrell Eckhoff, Mike, anything that's convinced you we're going to see something good from her this year?
Well, I think she has the ski speed, and I think she is a real danger in this one, because, as usual with those three spares, she'll relax a little more and probably hit 5 out of 5.
Okay.
They haven't missed a target yet, Norway, the only team to do so.
Now, while we're enjoying the action here in Ruhpolding, Mike, give me an all-time women's relay team that you'd like to put together to put up against the top 4 in the World Cup this year. So Kurkalova, Dalmar, Mäkinen and Duran Bear have already gone.
Okay, well, I would have to go back in time a little bit. I would definitely get Kati Wilhelm. Without a doubt, she was so reliable in terms of pace and shooting in the relays always. I would maybe even go further back and get Uschi Diesel. Relay, she never let the team down. Once she let the team down.
Magdalena Forsberg.
Forsberg, you're right.
Have to have Forsberg, surely.
Could not leave her out. Who else? Any other big names?
Well, Olofsson on her very best form was right up there.
There's others. Ambrion, good, but I'm going back to Norway, and of course, Poiré.
Yeah, Liv-Greta Poiré.
I would not leave her out, so yeah.
Yeah, well, if you fancy creating an all-time relay team for us, do send us an email, biathlon.eurosport@yahoo.com, and if we can, we will find time. We're not quite as busy this week as we were last week, so we'll have plenty of time to read your emails.
Poland, I'm just looking further down the list. They're still in 22nd. They're still nearly 4 minutes behind. It's a really bad day, sad day for Poland, because they won't pick up many nation points.
Those of you who are supporting the Czech Republic, the news isn't particularly good, I'm afraid. You're down in 13th place. You've already done a penalty loop. 142 off the leading teams. Okay, podium is possible, but I cannot see you challenging for the lead. USA, likewise, 15th position, 148 behind. It wasn't a brilliant start from Susan Dunkley, and she's been on such good form this year, so that was disappointing. Daria Domracheva, 49 seconds behind for Belarus. And a surprise, Italy leading with Alexia Rungaldier.
Well, fearless. I think that's very wise from Kreutz to just take this first lap in the slipstream, and then she can open up later. Patrick Fabre looking on, never shows much expression. He raced well when he used to race. I think he won one World Cup. Kreutz doing everything right. The pace isn't that strong up the front. Oh, we've got another little toy in front of the camera. It's a digger this time. From position.
How about that?
Beautiful.
Kreutz's tactics pay off on this occasion, but she might be, actually I don't think she will be disappointed to see the Italian Rungaldier still there, because she can tuck in behind the Italian on this next 2-kilometre loop. Norway with a miss, that's their first miss of the race so far, Mike. It's been brilliant shooting by them. Tyrrell Eckhoff clears it at the second time of asking. 7-8 seconds thrown away. Now, Daria Domracheva, let's have a prediction. How many targets are going down?
I would say 4 out of 5, one spare, she'll nail it. I hope. Oh, well, there's her first miss. Adjusting the sights now, 3 clicks right. Oh, yeah,
well, I think she's the first non-German to get any cheer at all so far today. She's hugely popular. Everyone delighted to see her back on the World Cup Tour. Of course, as a part of a husband-wife team. Olli Einar is the man flying the flag at the moment. He had a tremendous week in Oberhof last week, and, of course, part of the winning relay yesterday.
Oh, he did so well. So many times he's been part of the Norwegian winning relay team here.
Now, can we track Domracheva's time? 57 seconds behind at the start of this 2-kilometre loop. So we'll see how she does over the next 2Ks.
Well, she started on the handover. She was 57, so she's doing a grand job right now, even with 1 shot missed. Just looking at 3rd position at the moment, Merkushina, only 21, very limited World Cup experience. She's going well right now.
This is Vitkova, as I'm sure many of you know. Canada clear the 5 with 6 rounds. I know we had an email asking, why do they get three spare rounds? Why not less? Why not more?
3, I think, builds it. If you have a horrible visit to the range and risk shooting fast, then you can rebuild and get there.
Well, this is... Well, apart from that last round, that was one of the best shoots we've seen so far this year in the Pro. And it was fast, it was beautifully accurate, just slightly high right with the last shot from Germany's Franziska Preutz, and that has put them into the lead, but it's only by 1.6 seconds. Ukraine, France, Norway making up the top 5. Domracheva, 57 seconds behind last time. We saw her coming up towards 2.9 kilometers, 1,100 meters to go before the second shoot in the stand position. She's looking very smooth on the flats, Mike. Not as much flow, not as much power as we're used to seeing from her on the climbs.
No, that's a real sign of fitness when you come to the hills and slow down.
51. Well, she may not be looking powerful, but she's covering the ground quicker than anyone else out there.
Quite amazing, the turnaround. She's got ski pace now. Her shooting drills last week were slow, were awkward. Took an age to get her ski poles back on, but Domracheva looking good.
Time to look at the athletes who are taking the final leg. Germany have Laura Dahlmeier, the former World Cup leader, of course, lost her lead in Oberhof, sitting out a couple of races there. Italy, who are still up with the leaders, Nicole Gontier, she's no match for Laura Dahlmeier. I would be surprised if she's beaten Dahlmeier in any of the individual races so far this year. Celia Ammonier for France, likewise, is not quick enough to stay with the pace Dahlmeier's likely to set. Norway, Marta Olsbu. Now, Olsbu is lying 10th in the World Cup standings. Her form actually not bad in Oberhof. She had, what, 2 top 10s?
I'll have to say her ski form is excellent in Oberhof, but yes, the shooting was always the issue. So Olsbu could match her, I think, over this shorter distance, stride for stride.
Yeah, so if the lead teams come in within 10-15 seconds, the top 5, you'd still favour Germany to win.
I think so. I mean, when you look at Dahlmeier, her bad days are never that bad, and that could be the only... She's unlikely to have a meltdown. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe she will feel the pressure.
And when you have someone as strong as Dahlmeier on the last leg, do you instruct the third leg just to make sure of the shooting? Keep competitive. Surely you don't say to Preutz, we need a lead of 30 seconds. You just say, stay with the leaders, be comfortable, hit the targets.
I wonder, I'd probably just say, right, all do your job, give your best biathlon, and we'll see how that unfolds. And I think the prediction is that they are the strongest team. But yes, Gerald there. Prediction is that they are the strongest team. But yes, Gerald there, he knows this team well. I don't think he knows, and I think the prediction is that they are the strongest team. But yes, Gerald there, he knows this team well. I don't think he has to say too much to them. They know, they trust him, they trust his training, and they've got it together well.
Yeah, Germany had a hard period after the retirement of so many of their big names, the likes of Glago, then Wilhelm. It went on and on and on, but the youngsters have matured now, and they start every relay in the top two.
Preutz was going to go for the fast shoot again, but it didn't work. First shot.
Chance for Ukraine. Norway slow to get the first round away, but it's gone down. Tyrolekov making sure her standing shoot has not been too reliable. She did manage to shoot well in the relay at the World Championships, and she's done it again.
Whoa.
That's a big turnaround for Tyrolekov. Now she is likely to try and she'll try and close down, of course, Ukraine and Italy, but I think she's going to be capable. We'll see what she's got left in the tank. France get away, 2 spares required, and Daria Domracheva's done very, very well on that last loop, but she now needs to clear the 5 in the stand. She has the range to herself.
Well, I said maybe she'd miss 1 the last time. I think she'll miss, well, she's missed first, I thought 1 or 2 this time.
Have a look at the trigger finger.
Not
3
good.
rounds, 3 targets to hit,
So
quite possibly on the penalty loop.
She's pushing so hard, Patrick, that her timing is just not quite there yet. Only, what, 3 months since she gave birth. It's still good biathlon.
It's a nice position she's got in the stand.
4 months, sorry, since she gave birth.
A little bit of light training during pregnancy. Nothing hard by her standards. Would have left most of us standing, but she's obviously kept herself in remarkably good shape. Good recovery, really good recovery. Of course, you get those extra 7-8 seconds of recovery while you load the spare round. Russia now trying to limit the damage.
Sheva struggling there big time. And I think it's the penalty loops for Russia. That's bad news.
Pokljuka looking to the heavens. She knows that she's going to be on the chase. She's got a massive task. Domracheva 123 behind Mike, having been 57, so those 3 spares costing her quite a lot. She was within 50 seconds of the front of the race before that last shoot, so at least 30 seconds thrown away. Austria clear the targets, but they've dropped down the order. Austria ranked 15, so if they finish in the top 10, I think they'll be happy enough. Sweden, 8th last time out, sitting in 9th at the moment with Emma Nielsen, Anna Magnusson on the last leg. They're amongst the teams that have put their best first, so they could struggle. Claire Egan for the United States, going through the standing shoot very smoothly. So Ukraine, Italy, Norway, the leading 3. In terms of shooting, Italy, Norway have only missed 1 shot so far, and we have completed 6 of 8.
Brungaldier has 1 ski pole. She needs quickly to get another one. Didn't see what happened. Probably Merkushina probably skied over the basket and dragged out of her hand.
Yeah, some of you may be asking, why does she bother moving the right hand if there's no pole in it? But it's all about symmetry, it's all about balance, trying to keep the hips and the shoulders pointing down the track. As soon as you stop using that right arm, there'd be a lot of twist. 15th place for Russia. 2:49 behind. It's taken a while, but there's the spare pole. Lucky he didn't take her out.
It's quite a long spare pole.
And no real damage done, but as expected, Tyrolekov is the one setting the pace. She came out of the range a full 7.8 seconds behind Merkushina of Ukraine. She's eaten that up in the first K, and the reason she's doing that is to try and open up some sort of a gap between herself and Germany. Preutz might not the best shoot in the stand position, but she was only 15 seconds behind after that second shoot.
Oh, look at Tyrrell. Tyrrell is a terrier, and put her to the front, and she'll try and get more distance, as you see, to hand over to Ulsbu. What about France? France are still there or thereabouts, just behind Germany now. So this race, it really is still wide open. Great job from Italy. Great job from the 21-year-old from Ukraine, Ruhpolding. She's performed so well, and this is a cracking team from the Ukraine. Tyrrell Eckhoff tucking down low, maximising the often great skis from the Norwegians. The glide factor is good. Ruhpolding just trying to work a little more to carry more speed into this bend. And Russia, Kaisheva, missing one. Go around the penalty loop twice, and she's only taken part in 2 earlier World Cups, so very inexperienced.
Now, I don't know if you can remember the finish here last year. Ukraine first, Germany second. If I tell you that Dalmar was on the final leg, and I tell you that the two teams were only 1.2 seconds behind, you might remember that Pokljuka of Ukraine cut off Dalmar in the closing stages. Coming into the home straight, she did nothing wrong, to be honest, but Dalmar had got the wrong side of Pokljuka and found herself squeezed out as they came into the finish.
I remember that clearly, but that was a bad strategy from Dalmar that day, and I'm sure she's been reminded of that last night in the team brief.
Yeah, and as we see Norway come in for the final handover, it's Norway going out in first position, but the lead is not substantial. 5 seconds over Italy. France 9.9, Germany 11.4, and Germany have the quicker skier out there by way more than 11 seconds, so you would still favour Germany to get the win this time, but they did finish in second last year. Just looking at Dalmar's shooting, she went 0-1, so she missed 1 shot in the stand. You feel that Norway, Ukraine, Italy, if they want to win, have got to hit 10 with 10, and they've got to hope that Dalmar misses 2 or 3.
Very much. Preuss did nothing wrong in the prone. The bravery of shooting that fast, she tried in the stand, and it backfired. Look who's waiting, and she has to wait a long time. Karlova.
The Czechs last time we saw 1:57, so 800 metres, something like that, to make up. It's not going to happen, surely. But we said that with Svensson yesterday in the men's race. What did he do? He pulled out an absolute blinder to overtake Russia in the last 15 metres. Daria Domracheva, what she managed to do, 1:23 was the last count we got. I think she's been quicker than most on this last lap.
I think she'll be showing one of the fastest ski times out there in this particular leg.
Yeah, we'll try and get you the splits, because I know she's got a lot of fans trying to track her progress. The shooting still needs some work. She's 1:22, so marginally quicker than those who came out of the 6th shoot in first position. Sweden, Emma Nilsson handing over to Anna Magnusson. Magnusson is ready to go. That's the Czech Republic wearing 4. Vitkova to Kukalova. The World Cup leader has a decision to make. Does she chase hard? How much does the relay mean to her? Well, the Czechs are a very, very close-knit team, and I think they might fancy their chances of winning the Crystal Globe for relays come the end of this season. So it is important that the Czech Republic get themselves up into the top 4 or 5.
It is. You mentioned ski time as the results are there. Domracheva set the fastest ski time first time round, the 3rd fastest second time round, missing 3 seconds. And as an unfit athlete at the moment, she lost 8 seconds, 6th fastest on the last lap. That's actually ski time.
But she'll be encouraged by the fact that her first 2Ks was quicker than anyone else.
Yeah, the memory's still there.
Yeah. We actually talked about her technique, Mike. Do you think she needs to update it? I know she's only been away for 18 months, but it just looks dated.
I see what you mean. I mean, it's floating, it's long-rangey movements. Maybe you could maybe see, yeah, more dynamic, shorter strides up the steep climb.
And Tyrrell Eckhoff also, very long arm action. Norway, Ukraine, France, Germany. Hasn't taken Dalmar long to go ahead of Italy, and she's trying to work her way through. She wants to get onto the shoulders of Ulsbu to put pressure on the Norwegian, but I think now she'll just ease. Is she going to ease off, or is she going to drive up this last climb?
She's going to drive up it. There's Stitzel running alongside. He's got to be the fittest coach on the track. Ulsbu probably brief to just control yourself first time round.
Yeah, I like this high tempo from Ulsbu, easy strides, not putting too much work into each action.
Good flick, I love the left hand, look, throwaway hand, and then you get all the drive of the energy coming from the hand into the left ski. You raise the arm up, you get more pressure down.
Well, at this
the
stage,
Pash are closing in fast.
Yeah, at this stage last year, Mike, Ukraine had a lead of 27 seconds. They've not got that luxury this time.
Look who's pulled back 11 seconds practically. Dalmeyer, in fact, at the hand, no, at the exchange, it was 11 seconds.
Yeah, great to see 5 teams in there.
Tyrrell Eckhoff's brother, the head coach.
Yeah, he'll be enjoying this. What an atmosphere. And actually, normally we have the relays at the end of the meet. It's not a bad idea to have it first. It's brought in good crowds. It will fire them all up for the next 3 days of racing.
And look how tight it is. This modern era of female relays is brilliant. So many teams in the mix, and Kukalova's not even in the mix. There's France getting back into the action.
Any argument for bringing the men's race down to 4.6? 4 times 6? Shorten the men's relay and do the same as we've done with the women's?
Totally, yeah. Hey, why not? It's dynamic. It's the league will change many times, and I think it will. And then maybe bring the women's down to 5. But as you say, teams would get lapped. That's
because the shorter you make the relay, the more important the shooting becomes.
Very much, and the more you can lose the big teams. You know, they make a mistake, they feel the pressure, they're back. What about Dalmeyer? This will be another a test for her, but you know what? She always passed her tests very well.
With 6 shoots completed, I can't remember a women's relay in the last 6 years where 5 teams have been this close. This might be the shoot where they separate, but it's much more likely to be the final shoot, the standing position on the 4th leg, where someone gets away.
Norwegian spectators looked on nervously.
Ulsbu has been working hard. Dalmeyer, I think, pretty well controlled over the last 600-700 metres. At this stage, a mistake's expensive, as Ukraine are about to find out. Pidrushna has thrown one ride. Brilliant shooting again from the Norwegians. Dalmeyer, does she make sure? Yes, she does. 5 out of 5 for her. France need 2, and they need them quickly. A mistake would be absolutely critical for Amoinier.
What about Gontier? What a pity for the Italians.
Yeah, so from 5 we're down to 4, Mike. The Ukraine lose 11 seconds, but the leading group of 2 are away. Ulsbu still with that slim margin.
Well, Dalmeyer passed the test of pressure, 20,000, mostly German fans breathing on you, no problem at all.
Yeah, Norway to win have got to outshoot Germany. They will not outski them. I know you say Ulsbu's on good form, but I haven't seen too much evidence that Ulsbu is skiing faster than Dalmeyer.
She did not show it that first lap. Dalmeyer, with apparent ease, taking, 9 seconds off Ulsbu. Was Ulsbu going slowly to get through that first shoot? Maybe she was.
So from 3 seconds, 4 seconds between the top 5, we now have 41. The Italians have blown their chance, having shot well all day. Norway still have only missed 1 target. If you finish a relay having missed just 1 target, surely you deserve to win. I'm not sure it's going to happen.
There's still that little thing called the stand shoot to come up, and
yeah,
so often in a relay changes happen at that stage of the race.
Interestingly, Ulsbu and Dalmeyer both have an 86% hit rate in the stand this year. If you look at last year, Dalmeyer was considerably better than that. All those shots going low right, as far as I've picked out.
She was lucky with one of them.
Yeah, very lucky. Well, there you see the top 5. 6th position when we last saw the Czech Republic. So Dalmeyer puts Germany in front. Hard to resist going ahead, 1 when you can, and 2 when you've got so many fans baying for you to just push the pace, try and open up a little bit of a margin. And I think actually, if Dalmeyer pushes hard and Ulsbu tries to go with her, it's going to be Ulsbu that suffers on the 2nd shoot. But then we've, of course, got to take the pressure into consideration.
It's strange. Ulsbu, statistically, very rarely, she's one of those athletes who shoots statistically better in her stand than she does in the pro. There's only about 3 of them in the women's field here at the World Cup. But will that stand in her favour today? We'll have to wait and see when she's gunning for top position here. Dalmar just beginning to dance her way over the top of the rise.
Well, if you're a fan of the German team and you want some reassurance, I can tell you that in the last 3 years, Dalmar has raced in this relay on every occasion. She has only missed 1 shot out of 30, and that was the last shot of the last shoot last year. So it's a pretty fantastic record. So she's proved, I think she's proved that she can cope with the pressure.
She, as I say, she very rarely, and her bad days are not bad, and you've got 3 spare chances. It's looking pretty good for Germany. Can Ulsberg remain inspired like we saw in the prone shoot? She's normally an 82% hits rate, and I think that's why she took the first lap steady.
Yeah, I've remembered someone you didn't put in your team, Magdalena Neuner. Surely we have both Magdalenas, Forsberg and Neuner.
I'll pretend I left her out because she didn't shoot that well in the relay, but she could outski anybody. Gontia, you can see the spirit is broken, taking so long to get those targets down, and yet she was a real contender coming in for the prone shoot.
But don't forget, Italy were 12th in the first relay of the year, so to finish in 5th, which is what they're likely to do, because they still have over a minute ahead of the Czech Republic and Belarus, who are the next chasing group.
I know this is very fast being set from Dalmar, but is Ulsberg playing a strategy here, just trying to hold herself back? I don't think so. When an athlete gets away, normally you just cannot stay with them. Has Ulsberg got a lot of faith in her skis, hoping to drag some of this deficit back? Unlikely.
Isn't it phenomenal, Mike? This is the best crowd I think we've had at Ruhpolding for a long, long time, and a lot of it is due to the fact that you can now watch out on the tracks with the new course design, and obviously it's cheaper to be here than on the stands. Just about 80% of the population of the town have made their way, but also we've got a fantastic population area catchment around the Ruhpolding Stadium.
Oh, it's wonderful, and a lot of these spectators will walk back into Ruhpolding Village later, obviously have a wee schnapps up here and probably a few more in town later. Sweden, I was expecting the top 5. I was really expecting a possibility outside of a medal, but it's not going to happen today. There's Pickler, Wolfgang, his brother's the town mayor.
Big moment. I don't know where Dalmar stands in terms of popularity amongst the all-time greats in terms of German female biathletes. Uschi Diesel still one of the favourites. Kathi Wilhelm, did they warm to her like they did? I don't think so.
Kathi Wilhelm, yeah, she was always reliable. Well, that's a good lead.
Remember, she has hit 29 out of 30 targets in relays in the last 3 years.
Inspired from Ulsberg.
Phenomenal shooting from Martin. Now I don't know who that guy was shouting for. Lena,
you know what?
Was he shouting about Magdalena Neuner? Was he just to frustrate, possibly frustrate?
I think it was Pokljuka, Lena. I think it might have been shouting her on, but you know what? You only hear one voice.
But he sounded Norwegian. He sounded Norwegian. I think maybe he thought it was, judging by the state of him, I think he probably thought it was Neuner. And he will know as well as anyone else that the one thing that puts you off when you're on the range is the announcement of your own name. You've got plenty of experience of that.
My uncle in his kilt. Yeah, but hit 15 out of 15, heard him shout, just the brain registers, you can't hold it back. Thought once and missed one shot. Well, Norway, 10 seconds, who would have predicted that? Lead going out last lap.
Italy still trying to defend 5th place. They've thrown away their chance of getting a top 3. Ulsberg Dalmar, 10.7 seconds. It's a real race, but don't forget yesterday, Svensson took 14 seconds out of Babikov on the last 2.5 kilometres. Mike Osbu needs to get to the top of the last climb with probably a 5-second advantage. I can't see that happening, but we have to bear in mind that Dalmar has taken time out of Osbu on every lap so far. Has she overextended? I don't think so.
I don't think so. She's taken about 10 with apparent ease out of Osbu each time. She's only got 10 to pick up, but this time Osbu can fight and fight and fight to the end.
Kukalova can afford to miss today. She'll want to be spot on target over the next 3 days.
Wasted a bit of time having to realign the bullet. The gloves are quite bulky.
The women race again on Saturday and Sunday. So for the second week in a row, the women getting the short straw in terms of racing. We have the men's sprint tomorrow, women's sprint on Saturday, men and women racing pursuit on Sunday. Well, here's Osbu from 10 seconds. What is the margin? It's down to almost 10 metres. Dalmar knows. Make the ground on the climbs, get in contact, and then use your strength in the closing stages. We've seen her absolutely blow away Kukalova on the last lap of a race here in Ruhpolding. So these are tracks she enjoys, tracks that she's performed on before, and she's going to do it again.
And interestingly, on Saturday, I said it earlier, Osbu setting the second fastest time in Saturday's race. On Sunday's race, she was a little off pace. She's off pace again. 1,100
metres to survive, and Ukraine and France are still there. What a battle we've got for third place as well. And I wonder whether the French with Amonier think we might be able to get second.
Well, Pokljuka said going so wide, giving her a lot of space. I know she requested to get past and you have to give way. But anyway, Pokljuka will tuck in behind now. The coach is desperately trying to get some more energy into the athletes. I think Dalmar's skis are gliding beautifully well.
This is where the break is likely to come. Dalmar will want the lead by the time she goes over the top of this hill. It's not the end of the day if she doesn't get it, but this is where she knows she is stronger than Osbu by a good 3 percentage points.
And the memory of last year, as you mentioned earlier, when Dalmar didn't finish well, you're right, she'll want the lead into the stadium this time.
How much of a terrier is Osbu of Norway? Don't forget the Norwegians taking the world title in Oslo last year, but this time the 40,000 fans are shouting for Germany, not for Norway. She's still hanging on in mind, she's not giving up.
She's not there, and they're both going wide. Osbu's on slow snow out there. Dalmar's in the better snow now in the middle of the track.
It's of 20 metres.
Game over.
Dalmar has opened up a gap of what? 11, 12. And already Osbu has decided that second place is good enough.
That's not good enough. Well, I don't mean that. She looked over, yes, but she couldn't react to Dalmar. Surely there's still a chance for Osbu.
Good ski speed, certainly. It was a factor in the men's race yesterday, but it would have been lovely to see this one go all the way to the final little climb as they go over the bridge and into the stadium.
We saw it yesterday. When the fight's gone, Patrick, there's nothing you can do. Babikov lost the fight, lost the feeling in his legs, and no matter what you say to yourself, you just can't. But Dalmar, the faster skier.
Interesting, that dynamic skiing that I know you try.
Oh, they're going to lose, sorry, they're going to lose silver.
Yeah, Osbu's now in real trouble, having put in the work rate to try and stay in second. And France are coming, Ukraine are coming, Norway could go from first to fourth in the last 2 kilometres. It's Germany who are going to take the honours here, and that will only boost the attendance for the next 3 days. France now make their bid for second place. Will Osbu fight again? I think Ukraine are just going to miss out on this occasion. France into second place. Great effort from Celia Amonier. We thought she was the weakest of the French. She's proved to be one of the best today. But it's Germany who take top spot.
The golden girl. She could do no wrong, Dalmar. She gets one spare round, bit of wrong, but she's got the ski speed.
France second, Norway third, and Norway came out of the range a full 20 seconds ahead. Now, the reason Osbu lost that, Mike, is because she dug deep to stay with Dalmar and then had nothing to give over the last 800.
No, the 2 climbs took all the energy from Osbu's legs. You can see there she's a spent force. And that's a real pity for Norway to go from first to third.
Yeah, a reversal of fortunes. You can't win them all. They did win yesterday. Hintz, Hammerschmidt, Preutz, Dalmar. It's an awesome team on paper. The French, Chevalier, Brezard, Bescon, with Durana Bear, surely it would have been their day.
Oh, to leave the trump card out. Quite amazing. They've got to feel good about the World Championships now, the French team.
Yeah, and they should be happy with second place. Olsbu is going to take a little bit of time to get over that, but what a race. Don't forget, Mike, that little collision between the German, it was Hammerschmidt. Was it Hammerschmidt?
It was
Hammerschmidt and Hilde Fenn.
You know,
that
I think you
cost Norway
said
15, 20 seconds.
I think you said, you know, these little incidents can mean a lot in a race. And
they've lost by 4.5.
More snaps, please.
Nicole Gontier coming in. Is she aware that Kukalova is coming up behind her? She won't want to lose another place, but unless she bucks her ideas up, she's going to. Oh, just claiming it. Italy getting in fifth ahead of the Czech Republic.
Well, I don't think
0.2 of a second.
I don't think she was aware that Kukalova was pulling so much time back.
Yeah, credit to Kukalova for digging deep there. Not a lot at stake for her. 151 behind the race leaders, but she gave it everything to try and close down on Italy. And the margin at the start of the last leg was 22 seconds. That's from the range. Actually, that's from 4.9 kilometers. So in the last 1,100 meters, she took 22 seconds off Italy.
And she so nearly got one position forward for her team. These points are precious.
Pokljuka of Belarus in the red. Daria Tomracheva taking the third leg for Belarus. Sweden in 7th place, ahead of the Belarusian team, so 2:39. Remember, at the halfway, we had 5 teams separated by about 3.5 seconds.
And the Swedish team only, what, 42 seconds from top 5. Now, that's good biathlon for a growing Swedish team.
Yeah.
Very young team, the youngest team, actually, on paper here.
Oiberg, Sloth, Nielsen, Magnusson for the Swedes. Well, let's have a look at the Czech Republic coming in. Recorded pictures. Kukalova closing 22 seconds on the Italians over the last 1,100 meters. She had another 0.2 to make up. That was a great effort from Kukalova. But what about Dalmar, Mike? You're not going to get much money putting your money on the fact that she will be the anchor lady for Germany in the World Championships.
Oh, without a doubt. Anyone that can take... Well, there's the famous Kukalova with famous tennis-playing husband.
Kukal.
But no, you would put Dalmayer every single day.
Now we know why she was working so hard.
Impressive.
Yeah.
I think that worked when they married this summer. Last summer, I should say.
13th place to Russia, 3:57. Switzerland, 3:59. Let's have a quick look at the shooting. Japan, they deserve a mention. They've only missed 4 targets. The Canadians have done even better. They've only missed 3. But Norway, 1 spare round required to clear the 40 targets. Brilliant.
That's absolutely worth a mention.
I don't think we've ever seen that from a Norwegian
and
team.
I was saying statistically they're a poor shooting team. They are when they're racing individually. Give them 3 spare rounds and it changes their mindset. They've got 3 more chances to relax more.
Yeah, but the men's, the men's shooting hasn't always been brilliant. Just check how the men did yesterday. They did 5 spares. Compare that to Russia, who only needed 2 and finished in second. Germany, who needed 10 spares, but still managed to finish in 3rd place.
And a penalty loop as well.
And a penalty loop, yeah.
Further back, Poland are making their way forward. They were 23rd, they're now 17th.
Here they come.
And I thought they might be able to move to 16, they have.
Well, it all started badly for them with Kinga Mitarai. I hope, one, they look at the importance of putting a newcomer in the safest position in a relay, not putting them first. I understand the reason behind it, Mike, because so often the first lap of a relay on the first leg is very, very slow as they jostle for position.
Maybe, but I think the big sting is the pressure. You haven't done a World Cup before. You've got 20,000 people to your right, another 10,000 around the tracks, and you're in the pack. You're being noticed. It's huge pressure. And anyone who's done a mass start in a World Cup, no matter who you are, you tingle with nerves. It amplifies things by tenfold.
Wang Zulan for China. Don't need to tell you which suit is the Chinese. Yeah, could tighten up that arm action a little bit, certainly.
Nice to appreciate the spectators.
She's not going to get caught by the Bulgarians. Daniela Kadeva just finishing, and the margins are huge. 6 minutes behind. The total distance of course, 24 kilometres. 40 targets to be hit. The tracks are in great condition. Thank goodness we had a little bit of fresh snow at the end of last week. I don't think we've seen scenes like this for 5 or 6 years here in Ruhpolding.
It's a good feeling, isn't it? Great feeling, and they're so happy to see what Dahlmeier did. When she was handed over to, I think they were in, what, 5th position. Dahlmeier easily, in the end, taking them up to 1st.
Performance of the day?
Maybe it was more noticeable, but without a doubt, Dahlmeier for me, with all the pressure expected at home.
Well, my performance of the day is going to Celia Amonye. You know, you look at her World Cup performances so far this year, there was nothing there to say that she was going to be able to hold on to 2nd place. And a really gutsy last loop. What did she take? 20 seconds out of Norway. She wouldn't have thought she could close down 20 seconds on Olsbu. I know the tactics up front affected Olsbu, but I think that's a great run from France. They are missing their queen, as in Marie Duranabert, and still they've claimed 2nd, so they'll be confident going into Hogfilsen.
Oh, you can't deny what Amonye did there was outstanding. She was having an inspired day. Hopefully she can carry that into Saturday and Sunday.
Well, just to remind you of the programme for the next 3 days, we've got the men's sprint tomorrow, we've got the women's sprint on Saturday, and then the 2 pursuit races on Sunday. They don't want to leave. They got the result they came for, and Germany delighted with that. They had a 3rd place in the men's relay yesterday, 1st place in the women's today. Over the last, I think, probably since 2006, Mike, the Germans' women's team have been stronger than the Germans' men's team. Well, here we go, confirmation of the timings for tomorrow. Remember, those are European times, so it's a 1:30 start. We'll be on air 15 minutes early, I hope. We'll see how things go. Depends on all the other live sport that we'll be covering throughout the day. So 1:30 start for the men's 10-kilometre sprint tomorrow. A real battle developing for 2nd, 3rd and 4th place in the World Cup standings. Martin Fourcade is away and clear, having dominated all the individual races this year. Well, that's it from Ruhpolding for today. I hope you enjoyed